Hi. Sorry, I already got started. It was Queen of Clubs, which is kind of similar to the Queen of Pentacles. So a very grounded, reliable woman. Can also be a woman with dark hair. The recipe is fucking heinous. It's, I think, the only sweet recipe that I've seen so far, though. So you could see it as this woman is a sweetie pie, or is very sweet on you. Yeah, the recipe is like tropical spam truffles au français, sweetened condensed milk, cream of coconut, German sweet chocolate, dried pineapple, butter, spam. You heat that all together until it's melted, and then you refrigerate it until it firms up a little bit so that you can roll it into balls and roll it into the coconut. And then it says that they're best served at room temperature. Gross. But I'm going to pull an animal spirit card to find out more about this woman. That sound is probably gnarly. I should probably cut that. Let's see. Mouse. The mouse is very, like, nitpicky, nervous energy. Yeah, detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. So this could be, if this reliable, grounded woman is you, I'm not actually really getting that. It feels more so like this is about somebody else that has this energy. This could be someone that you work with in some capacity, or someone that you're working on some sort of project with, which is why this, like, nitpicky energy is problematic, which, I mean, it's kind of can be problematic anyway, but the combination of this being the Queen of Clubs with this does make me think workplace. So it could be that this is someone you work with that is being really annoying about some sort of project you guys have going on, or just they could be like a manager, or they want to be a manager. It doesn't seem like they're probably very good at it, though, since they're getting really wrapped up in details that don't really matter very much, or they just need something to keep them more busy than what they currently have going on. Let's it being the Queen of Clubs first, though, does make me think that this person isn't, like, malicious. I think this person is very well-meaning. Again, they just get a bit too wrapped up in trying to make things, like, perfect and just worrying about the small stuff when that's not really necessary. This could be you. It just, to me, is reading more external than that. But Four of Wands in reverse, Judgment, Page of Wands reverse. Yeah, so there's some sort of disharmony going on. Somebody needs to make a very important decision, but feels a lack of confidence in their ability to do so. This could be that let me clarify this Four of Wands a bit. I just want to understand the context a bit more. Hangman reverse. Yeah, it seems like you've gotten a different perspective on the relationship or dynamic between you and this person. I am... Something about the relationship has become really clear, and it's made you realize that things are a lot more sort of like out of balance than you initially thought they were, and it's very much one of those you can't unsee it now. So you've realized you do have some sort of decision you have to make. But like I said, you don't feel confident that you're like equipped to make this kind of decision. So it would make sense, again, this being a workplace thing. It does almost make me think that this is less so someone that's micromanaging you, and more so you perhaps are more on the management side of things, and this is maybe someone who works underneath you that you've noticed is getting way too wrapped up in like little details, and perhaps that's causing projects to move a lot slower than they should be because this person is too caught up on the small things that don't matter. And so you're trying to figure out how to handle that situation as to whether or not this person should stay with y'all, or if maybe you should let this person go. Seven of Cups, you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by the options with this choice. You're really just worried about making the right decision. Wheel of Fortune reverse. Yeah, you're just really worried about it, like, coming around and, like, biting you in the ass if you make the wrong decision here, or if you, like, handle things the wrong way. I think this lack of confidence in yourself as far as, like, your ability to make this decision is coming from perhaps being in, like, a similar situation in the past and it not going well. Oh. The Tower and the Devil reverse. Okay. It would seem as though separating from this person, again, it feels work related to me, but it doesn't have to be. So letting this person go, or if this is this, this could more so be that, again, this is a manager and you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to leave this company because of how nitpicky and annoying this manager is, or whoever it is, colleague, manager. It feels like there's a bit of a hierarchy situation, which is why it feels so sort of like uneasy. As opposed to this just being like a colleague that you would be able to just have a sort of one-on-one conversation and just be like, hey, I think you maybe need to shift. I think we should shift our focus from the details of this project onto the whole in order to get things moving and grooving a little bit. It feels like there's repercussions that you're worried about with this. And like I said, I think it's because you've perhaps been in a similar situation before. And you're worried about, okay, if I leave this company, like, am I just imploding my own life? Like, am I gonna have other, like, what are my other options outside of working for this company or with this person? I've, tried to, like, fight through similar scenarios in the past, and it didn't really get me anywhere. It ended up blowing up in my face. So, just worried about how to make sure that this goes well for me. The thing that's hard about it, is it's not necessarily that it's, like, the most annoying, like, woo thing to hear, but whatever's meant for you won't miss you. Like, if this does blow up a little bit, it's because it was meant to. Like, there is some sort of a release happening here, obviously. But but it seems like that's for the best, whether that's because you are just watching out for like your own well-being on an emotional level, like if this person is driving you absolutely nuts. There is something to be said about figuring out how to not have this person affect you so deeply in this way. Like understanding that y'all ain't friends. Sort of. Like maybe this is somebody that you've felt has been like a work friend to you. Like maybe you guys are friends outside of work and that's why this is so hard. Ooh. And the way that they're handling things at work is making it harder to it's making it harder to keep up this friendship because you're so frustrated with them on a professional level. Yeah, you're definitely feeling overwhelmed and overburdened by this. Now, okay, let me make some room. Definitely feels like you need some space from this person one way or another. And so it looks like the reason that maybe you've just been in a similar situation with this person before, and they are quite defensive. Like, trying to talk to them about work stuff, like, as a friend, they do not respond well to. And that's why you're having such a hard time trying to decide what to do. And why it feels so overwhelming. Because, okay. I'm almost getting that this is someone, as opposed to it necessarily just being like you guys are friends that work together, I'm starting to get that you two are like business partners. Like you two own a business together. Oh. okay. What I'm... Okay, I'm getting that you are trying to figure out whether or not you want to basically go solo with whatever this is because of, this other person making you kind of nutty and seeming to have their priorities not straight. So, okay. At the end of the day, that stuff doesn't I'm getting that maybe this is something that you and this person have been working on together for like a year. Like either you've been working together for a year or you guys have been building this like business together for a year. Take what resonates, leave what I was gonna say leave what don'ts, what doesn't. Oh, card fell out. 10 of Pentacles, or 10 of Cups. Okay. I'm gonna set that to the side for now. So I wasn't really ready for it, but. So let's get some more like guidance, I think, on oh. Okay, so it looks like you are very focused on what hasn't gone right in the past, or just the fear of like how you'll be able to do it without this person, or like how do I put this? The fear of scarcity is a big thing that's holding you back from moving forward with like distancing yourself from this person in some way. It does seem like you're ready to let go of whatever this is and move forward, but there's a lot of fear there. like I said earlier, it does seem like you've been in a similar situation at some point, so you're worried about this sort of unfolding the same way. But with the Ten of Cups coming through first, I don't really think that's the case. I think I also very much get the sense that, like, you can't do this anymore. Like, you need to move on. And it is just this fear that's sort of holding you back. So, let's see what can help you release that fear. I might switch to a different deck. Yeah, it's the Tower. Just the knowing that, like, anything that falls apart does because it's supposed to. Like, you don't have the ability to control everything. You can't control like, if you and this person are just on a professional level not compatible, this isn't going to be sustainable. It will fall apart one way or another, but you have the power to help that happen in a smoother and easier way for yourself, or trying to, like, hold on to it as tightly as you can for as long as you can, and then having it be so much harder to let run its course. Let's see. I'm gonna pull another animal spirit card to see what kind of energy you can try to embody to help you conquer this fear. The earthworm. I don't, like, super read these upright or reverse. It did come out in reverse, which I'm like, I'll take note of with some cards, and with this one I feel like I should. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner wisdom. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious, apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up, risk embarrassment. What I get from that is maybe another part of why this is so scary to you is the other person is more sort of, like, experienced in this field or in running a business, whatever it is. Also makes sense as to why the Page of Wands reverse was coming up early. Like, this person makes you feel very much like a novice, and in some ways I think you might be. Like, I think you are newer to whatever this is than the other person, but that doesn't mean that you're any less capable. You're not... Ooh, okay. Okay, so I think part of what this person keeps nitpicking about is that you aren't perfect. Which, of course you're not perfect, you're newer to this. They're like expecting you to know everything that they already know or do things the way that they do them. But like you're still learning. You weren't born yesterday, but you were born maybe like a month ago. So this person should have more patience with you. But it doesn't really seem like they're willing to because they're too caught up on making everything as perfect as possible. But the problem is, if that's really the only thing they're worried about, they shouldn't have probably gone into business with someone that has, less experience than they do if they wanted someone to match their level. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's really what it's about. This person just seems like a perfectionist. So to help you not take it so personally, it's just easier for them to put the blame on you with why things aren't quite right, when the reality is, at least from what I am kind of looking at here, you're gonna leave, they're still gonna have a bunch of problems, they won't have anybody to blame but themselves, and you'll be doing just fine and dandy, learning and growing. And one of the big reasons that you are going to find success without this person is because you are not afraid to be less than perfect. You are not afraid to make mistakes. You are not afraid to be wrong or to not know things, because that's how you get better at things. You can't do better or learn more or be better, learn more, grow, unless you admit that you don't know things, that you don't know what you're doing sometimes, or that you don't know what's going on sometimes, or that you don't know how to do something, because that's how you learn. And when someone's convinced that they already know how to do everything perfectly, they're never going to get any better at anything. I used to tell a girl that I nannied, when she was being like really stubborn about something, and I was trying to like teach her something, but she was being stubborn and wanted to act like she knew everything. I would tell her, you are the smartest kid I know, but you won't be for much longer if you don't keep learning things. If you can't accept that you don't know everything you know right now, that's it. That's not gonna cut it. Like, sure, from where you stand right now, you might know everything that you've needed to know so far. But what happens when a new situation inevitably puts itself in front of you? You're gonna have to know new stuff. And you'll have to be like, dang, I don't know what the hell's going on. Guess I gotta figure it out. But you figured out everything up until this point, so clearly you're very capable. So, again, I don't really know who we're talking about, and like I said earlier, I do get the feeling that this person isn't malicious. I think they have the best intentions. I think they just need to do some work on themselves with their perfectionism and their expectations for other people. And sometimes gotta learn that the hard way. Sometimes we learn that we need to be kinder to people because those people leave. I'm gonna grab a few Lenormand cards. I've noticed these ones for readings do often sort of give people synchronicities and things like that, so they're also very literal a lot of the time, which I think is why they can be very sort of like synchronistic. So I'm trying to think of exactly what I want to ask them specifically. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have a specific question in mind that these will answer. So, heart, rider, coffin. For me, I'm seeing this as like you can feel that it's time for this to end, or you feel in like your heart of hearts that you're going to bring this to an end. So I don't really think there's a whole lot for me to tell you about it, because I think you know everything there is to know about it already. But hopefully this gave you some assurance about the situation. Maybe it helped kind of just lay the picture out a little bit clearer for you. Should all be confirmation of things that you already kind of knew. And again, I think that you'll know that this reading was for you because you know already what you want to do. You just wanted to hear it come out of somebody else's mouth. Obviously, I'm just some guy on the internet, so don't quit your job or end your business partnership just because I said so. That would be crazy. But do whatever you want, live your best life. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thanks, bye.